Oh my god, can I please be Jet? Can I please be Jet?
You'd have to ask Xerxen. Oh, wait. Wait, which one of you was that?
I am Xerxen.
Okay, that is you. Okay, I still don't know the two of you very well.
I mean, their voices are pretty different. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're still Jet.
Distinctive. My voice is a lot deeper than his.
All right. Yeah. Chapter 6, Scene 6. Jet brings breakfast. Interior of Prince's room, morning. Sonic is sleeping soundly until the sunlight reaches his face. He rolls to face away from it.
Tails, it's too early.
Sonic tries to reach for
That doesn't sound half asleep.
Yeah, read that line again. Sounds sleepy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tails,
it's too early.
No, mumble.
Tails, it's too early.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sonic tries to reach for something beside the bed, but he can't. He groggily opens his eyes and sees that he's chained to the bedposts. His eyes widen as he props himself up, looking around the room.
Shadow! Damn it!
Sonic tries to pull at the metal restraints, but they hold fast.
Then he realizes his butt is also sore.
It's leaking a weird white substance.
Jesus! That shit would have dried up by now.
Or...
Oh my god.
It came from the ultimate life form.
Beneath him.
It doesn't dry.
It came from the ultimate life form.
It never dries out. Right. Yeah. I feel bad for
pure
his
chaos energy.
I feel bad for his washing machine. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sonic tries to pull at the metal restraints, but they hold fast. After a few moments of struggling, someone knocks on the door.
Okay. My prince, I'm bringing the breakfast.
That faker of a prince isn't here right now. But now that you mention it, I am kind of hungry.
Jet the Hawk enters through the door, carrying a tablet of food. His gloves, shoes, and goggles are made of brown leather.
Jet?
Jet looks around the room as he sets the tablet on the table.
Jet, let me up!
Now why would I? It is a position absolutely fitting for a bed slave. Yet, I would have thought that the prince had taught you enough obedience that he wouldn't have to chain you up to ravage you.
Yeah, well, maybe, but Shadow isn't here right now, so I want off.
Jet turns
Sound a
angry.
bit more uncomfortable, if that's possible.
Huh?
Make your voice higher. Be like, yeah, well,
Yeah,
Shadow's not here
well,
right
maybe, but Shadow isn't here right now, so I want off.
Jet turns angry
that was
and
better.
grabs the writing crop from the desk. That was good.
now. How dare you speak your master's name? On top of that, how dare you speak at all? I should whip you 20 times for this.
Jet raises the crop warningly, and Sonic's eyes widen. After a few moments of silence, Jet smirks in satisfaction and twists the writing crop idly in his hand.
There's a good bed sleep. God, there's something so disturbing about hearing like a fucking Gilbert Godfrey sounding voice say that.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
There's a good bed slave.
I'm just imagining
It's a good bed
Jafar's
slave.
parrot, like, saying all this stuff.
There's a good bed slave.
There's a good bed slave.
Oh
That was-
no.
The kingdom found out what Jafar was into, and that was his downfall. All right.
They found out what was in his dungeon for real.
Oh, no. That's why Aladdin had to save the princess.
Yep.
Oh god.
Imagine the parrot, it's just like flying around one day. No, Jafar, no more.
Oh, God. All right. Jet slowly brings the crop down on Sonic's collarbone and trails a circle over his chest. Sonic glares at him and squirms a bit.
A pretty thing the price got.
The price is
The
right.
price is right. The price is right, Sonic. Come on down. A pretty thing the prince got it there, indeed.
What is that grammar?
I think that's... I mean, oh, yeah, you were good. I don't know what the grammar was in the screenplay here. All right. The crop slides down. Stonic's sternum.
Stunk.
The crop slides down Sonic's sternum, across his belly button, and a bit further before Sonic jerks violently in surprise. Jet stops and smirks broader. Sonic is panting, blushing, and furious.
Still so sensitive down there, slave. Your master should... Your master should treat you harshly. But unfortunately, it's not for me to tell the prince what to do. Mind you, if he ever gets tired of you, tell him I would very much like to purchase you second-hand.
Jet leaves a plate of food and a glass of wine on the table, and a bowl of mush on the floor, and then leaves with a final smug look at Sonic.
Next chapter.
Damn, schmuck.
There's literally 2 lines. That's it.
Nice. Chapter 7,
Sick.
Scene 7. Bleh. Shadow explores the castle.
The scene is just called Bleh.
Who was that? Who was
That was
that?
me. That was me.
Oh my god. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Alright. Interior of
You
Doom's
ruined it
castle.
all! You bad! You hawk!
Interior of Doom's castle continued. Shadow wanders around the castle a bit. We get to see a few different places as he explores them. Apparently, the guy writing the screenplay was lazy at this point.
Yep.
Interior.
Everyone
castle hall
turns to black.
continued. Eventually, Shadow walks down a hallway where Lazar is going the other way, leading Espio the Chameleon on a leash. Espio is limping slightly and clutching his wrist. Shadow is surprised for a moment, but quickly hides it.
Yet another slave, Lazar?
Lazar stops before him and bows.
Yes, one of those ninjas from the Eastern Realm. His Majesty desires this captured one to be trained as a slave, since it would be the ultimate insult to the enemy. However, breaking him has been equally as difficult as your new bed slave. Slave. Bleh.
That's...
So it may be some time before we can let him walk around without the leash.
Lazar bows again and continues walking Espio along. Shadow watches them for a moment before continuing.
I shall now continue.
To be continued.
Oh wait, I gotta go to the next chapter, okay.
Yes. Chapter 8, Scene 8, Sonic Leashed. Ha, I get it. Oh, I get it. That was a game.
I get it.
Sonic Leash!
Sonic and Lisa!
Who is doing that? You can be Vector eventually.
That was me. That was me.
Interior Prince's room continued. Sonic is becoming drowsy again, but the opening door wakes him up. He scowls as Shadow enters.
Shadow, what the hell did you think you were doing?
Good morning to you too, Sonic. Something bothering you, I take it?
Oh, I don't know. Someone only chained me to the bed.
Shadow shrugs and inspects his breakfast.
If I had known you'd wake up in such a moon, You're in the moon, Sonic. You're in the moon.
You're in the mood. Now get on the bed, boy, and spread those cheeks.
If I had known you'd wake up in such a mood, I would have gagged you too.
Are you completely insane? Because I'm not sure you know what this... Are you
Make your voice crack a little bit.
Because I'm not sure you know what this looks like. You about to rape...
Shadow whisks around to face Sonic with his eyes subtly widened.
You're not seriously suggesting I would ever do that.
Well, if you're not, then get these handcuffs off. I mean, where'd you even find them?
Shadow goes to the bed and starts unlocking Sonic.
I found them hanging from the bedposts. You fucking dumbass. Context clues, Sonic.
They were right there, didn't you notice?
In fact,
blind.
Sonic.
in fact, you put
You
them
Put
on
them on
yourself.
yourself and asked me to start going at it.
All right.
Seth Rogen laugh. Seth Rogen.
Hey.
Don't do that. That's
Huh?
the hey is a little weird in this context.
Hey.
Hey.
Anyways,
Yes, I gotta see. Alright, anyways.
let's see. Okay, Sonic yanks his wrist to check if it's free yet.
Keep still, for chaos' sake.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have chained me up in the first place. What are you even trying to do? Make this whole charade more realistic?
I want to explore the castle a bit, but I needed you to stay in the room. You were still asleep anyway. So, I hoped you might not even notice.
Gee, Shads, ever heard of something like writing a note? You freaked me out big time.
Yes, Sonic, and I suppose you actually would have stayed in the room like I asked you to, instead of becoming bored and running off and completely wrecking our pretense.
Well, maybe I would have stayed.
Shadow frees Sonic's last limb and Sonic sits up on the bed. He massages his wrists and licks over a chafe. Chafe? Fuck.
Chafe.
Jesus, sorry. I'm
Cafe.
Get some gold bomb for that bitch.
Shadow looks slightly concerned by this.
So, anyway, you should order another breakfast, because I think I'm supposed to eat from that bowl on the floor. It looks even worse than Tails cooking when he isn't making pancakes, which means it's probably poisonous, and I won't even touch it. We need a second portion of whatever you're having.
You gotta emphasize the touch.
Oh.
It's probably poisonous.
Because
and I
I'm
wouldn't even
supposed to
touch
eat...
it.
Because I'm supposed to eat from that bowl on the floor, and it looks even worse than Tails cooking when he isn't making pancakes, which means it's probably poisonous, and I won't even touch it. We need a second portion of whatever you're having.
No, I couldn't do that without looking suspicious, I think. Just have mine.
Wait, what? What are you gonna eat?
Nothing.
I'm going to eat you, Sonic.
Shads, I appreciate the sentiment, but...
Don't assume anything about me that you don't know for sure, Sonic. Fact is, I don't need food. Not for a few months, anyway.
Come again?
No, it would be more like, come again.
Come again?
Ultimate life form. My metabolism can run on the surrounding chaos energy for a considerable... fuck! Ah! My metabolism can run on the surrounding chaos energy for a considerable
You
time.
sure you don't want me to be Shadow?
I absorb it like you breathe air. What?
Wow. So, you wouldn't mind if I dug in right now, would you?
That does not sound excited at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so,
you're supposed to
you
be
wouldn't mind
excited.
if I dug in right now, would
You
you?
wouldn't mind if I dug in right now, would you?
Yeah.
Wow. So, you wouldn't mind if I dug in right now, would you?
Shadow makes a help-yourself gesture, and Sonic dashes to the table, devouring the food ravenously. Shadow smiles briefly and turns to the window.
It's almost midday now. I suggest we go to the dungeon in the afternoon.
Sure. I just hope the emerald is still there.
Good. I'll go through these documents here on the writing desk. Maybe they'll tell me something useful. SCP-173.
SCP-682.
Right, Jesse, you want to get the later?
Later. Just later.
A few somethings later.
Yeah.
The plate
Just
of
later. Much later.
Like tail.
the plate of food is completely empty. Sonic is grooming himself with a brush, using the mirror to see his back quills. Then, in the mirror, he sees Shadow staring at his back with the strangest expression.
Shadow?
Shadow quickly turns back to the documents.
Nothing. Finish your grooming so we can leave.
Whatever.
Sonic strokes the brush through a few more times, and he seems satisfied with his appearance. However, he then notices the red collar around his neck and looks less happy. He tugs at it with a sigh and turns around.
Okay, let's go.
Shadow gets up, holding the leash.
What are you planning to do with that?
What do you think I'm planning to do?
Put it on... Put me on it. Again.
You're obviously not broken, so if you're coming with me, you need a leash.
Look, can't we pretend I was broken? Then I wouldn't need a leash.
Shadow stares at Sonic, who looks as far from broken as can be.
I can fix that.
Well?
Faker, there is not one aspect of you that would suggest submission. There are dignitaries here who look more subservient than you.
Hey, can I help my good looks? So, you're saying I can't leave this room without a piece of leather dangling from my neck, huh?
Not right now, anyway. Maybe we can work something out later. Or maybe we'll find that emerald and be home in an hour's time, if you would finally come over here.
Sonic huffs in displeasure but complies. He winces slightly as Shadow raises the leash, but tilts his head, and Shadow attaches it. Shadow tugs on the leash lightly, and Sonic scowls faintly. Then they leave.
God, the sexual tension in this is really strong. Almost as strong as the fucking boner in my pants.
Alright. Chapter 9, Scene 9, Walk to the Dungeon. Interior castle halls continued. Shadow and Sonic walk through the halls. Sonic occasionally tugs at his collar and twists his neck in discomfort. Sonic almost opens the door to the throne room, but Shadow stops him by yanking the leash back.
Not through there, Faker. That's Black Doom's throne room, remember? We need to take another way.
Oh wait, fuck, that's
Great.
supposed to be a pause.
Next time something like, "Stop, Sonic!" would suffice, you know? But... Ah! If I didn't know better, I'd say you're enjoying this.
Fine. Just let me lead. We'll come into more crowded areas of the castle soon, so try to act a bit more genuine.
Okay. Close the door.
I think someone went to do
Okay, I gotta go take my dog out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright,
God
alright.
damn it.
It's fine. Wait. Babe, do you want me to cover for you? And he's already gone.
Oh, he's long gone. So, Jesse, you and Fried Chicken have read the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But I would be lying if I said that I haven't skipped some chapters.
I mean, I'm not gonna,
Oh, you skipped some?
take marks off your homework or anything. Jesse's world is shattered right
Andre,
now.
you would be way too lenient of a teacher.
What do you mean?
I mean, hey, I do that a lot with some fanfictions. Especially if I only start reading them for the sex.
Yo.
Oh, come on! You gotta have the whole shebang. You gotta build up to the good part.
Listen, the important part of shebang is bang.
I can't argue with that. That's perfectly reasonable.
And I'm gay. I don't want no she in my bang.
Ooh. Extra.
These puns just write themselves.
The hubang of it.
The whole hebang.
The whole hubang. That's the gay shebang.
Penis.
The whole jabang-a-lang.
Are you already back? That was the quickest
Yeah.
take the dog out. Like, did you just kick the dog out of the house or like?
No, it just shits really quick.
Oh damn!
God damn.
Okay.
Just poor. This dog is feeling like Sonic at the end of whatever screenplay this.
Yeah.
Gotta shit fast. Oh, you're
Gotta
saying
get
that's
shit-
because
gotta
the
shit
asshole's
fast.
gonna be so
Dog's like, oh god,
stretched
they're
that
gonna
he's
take
not
me
gonna
back
have
in.
a problem going to the bathroom.
Okay.
Is that what you're?
I got some
what you're
fruit roll-ups.
insinuating?
I got some fruit Rolos.
Bro, what is this, 2006? What the
Yeah.
hell? Bro, I didn't even know you could get those in Canada. Wait, are all of you in Canada, or is it just Jesse?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one.
Okay. It is currently VA's
It's on
turn.
Sonic's
VA
line.
is ready.
My jaw hurts from eating like 4
From eating Shadow's cock.
fruit
Wait.
Rolos.
You just ate them in like one bite? You
Uh-huh.
didn't like... Oh my god.
He's practicing.
Jesus.
You want me to grovel at your feet, or is walking on...
Grovel. Grovel.
Grovel?
I don't know how to say that word.
Grovel.
I just told you, grovel.
Grovel? Okay. You want me to grovel at your feet, or is walking on all fours enough?
Interior, Doom's Castle. Moments later. Sonic and Shadow walk through a busier area with many other slaves. All the slaves drop to their knees and bow as Shadow goes past. Most slaves have no clothing. Some of the slaves are walking on all fours. Sonic looks around, wide-eyed. He's speechless and horrified by the state of the slaves, and he's curious and awestruck by how big the castle is. Some higher-ranking people occasionally pass Sonic and Shadow, bowing politely to Shadow and glancing disapprovingly at Sonic.
Will you cut it? For all they know, we're going to abuse you for the next few hours, so there's no need to look so excited.
What?
What?
That's not surprised enough.
What? Okay, I
There
need
you
to
go.
get closer to the mic. What? Monkey. Monkey.
Let's see. Chapter 10, Scene 10, Dungeon Treasure Hunt. Interior dungeon. Moments later. Amboss opens the door and bows.
Got you, Mom.
My prince, I've been awaiting you.
Shadow and Sonic enter the dungeon. Lazar is waiting inside.
Lazar?
What? I mean, yes. Your father asked me to check up on your slave. Has the punishment of yesterday had any effect?
Shadow and Lazar glance at Sonic, who tries and fails to look broken.
We're making slow progress. But I'm not about to give up. I would like to use some devices today that won't leave any marks on the body. Or at least, not where they're...
Wait, what?
Or at least where they would mar my...
What? Marmite? Marmite!
Marmite! Vegemite!
Marmalade.
Vegemite sandwich!
Australia! Ew!
So that's what Shadow's into. He likes spreading Marmite all over Sonic.
Ew!
Or at least, not where they would mar my sight of him. Any suggestions?
Lazar
Any
and
suggestions?
Amboss nod, and Lazar hurries off.
And a gag. Bring me one.
Sonic looks very nervous as Amboss goes to get one. Lazar returns with an assortment of unpleasant items, which he shows and explains to Shadow one by one, occasionally smiling sadistically at Sonic. He holds up a piece of ginger.
And finally, there's this.
It's a piece of ginger. I fail to see how anyone could be tortured by that, even if you added it to their food in very large quantities.
Sonic snorts in amusement, and I almost did as well, but is cut
He
off by
almost snorted
Shadow.
cocaine.
God damn it. Sonic snorts in amusement, but is cut off by Shadow yanking his leash quickly. When he recovers, he manages to keep a straight face.
Oh boy.
What funny quips you make, my prince. But let me assure you that there are very interesting uses for ginger indeed. The ginger root contains essential oils that cause a highly unpleasant burning sensation if applied to sensitive skin. It can be used for some rather humiliating punishment that is particularly effective in the breaking of bed slaves. We would simply bend your blue hedgehog over the table, then lift his tail and insert.
I get the picture.
You can leave it in there for hours.
I am thrilled beyond belief. And if you can leave me alone now, I will call for you when I am finished.
Lazar tries to object, the fucking horn dog.
I want
but
to
Shadow
see the
cuts him
videos
off.
when you're done.
I will remind you that Sonic is my bed slave. And, as such, sights of him in vulnerable positions belong to me and no one else. Leave.
Of course, my prince.
Lazar bows politely, hands the ginger to Shadow, and leaves the dungeon with
Fuck your
Amboss.
politeness.
Shadow locks the door as Sonic collapses against a wall.
Good grief, Shadow.
What?
Shadow starts unleashing Sonic.
Sonic Unleashed.
This is my escape.
How can you talk about that so callously? It's freaking me out. I'm not even going anywhere near the ginger. You act like the real thing.
Sonic's leash comes off.
You forget where I grew up, Sonic. I am a scientific experiment of Professor Joe Robotnik. I spent 5 years of my life among scientists aboard the Ark before it was raided by Gunn. And one thing I can tell you, the attitude of these people towards their slaves differs only very slightly from that of the scientists to their projects. I know all about how to act in environments like these.
Geez, Shadow, that's really...
What's past stays past. You can't change things that have already happened. But you can manipulate the memories of other people!
Jeez, so melodramatic.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Who knew the
I'll
B
play
in
around where I found
BDSM
many
stood for...
gays.
Who knew the B in BDSM stood for black? All right. All right.
Oh, I thought you were going to say backstory.
No, that's good too. That's good too. All right.
West
Black
Philadelphia.
story.
Shut the fuck up. Shadow sits down. In a moment of silence, Sonic dislodges himself from the wall and approaches Shadow slowly, as if to comfort him. But then he decides not to.
So, any charades at the beginning, or do we start to look for that emerald now?
You underestimate... fuck. You underestimate me, Faker. Why do you think I asked for a gag? It won't arouse any suspicions without you screaming this time. Plus, those torture instruments were designed not to leave any marks, which means as long as you look worn out when we leave, there won't be a problem.
Okay, so I'll look through the room on the left. You take this one?
Suits me.
Sonic and Shadow search through the dungeons thoroughly. There are more rooms than they thought, so it takes a while. Sonic frowns darkly as he finds more and more instruments of torture.
Alright. Your next line, babe, you gotta be very whiny.
A few hours later.
Yeah, I gotta be like, it's not here.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Narrator.
No, that's Jesse's line.
You already did it.
You didn't hear me?
You already did? Okay.
Yeah.
A few
No, I didn't
more
hear you.
hours later.
Nice. Shadow is leaning against a rack, and Sonic tiredly slumps down beside him, tugging his collar.
It's not here.
No, it isn't.
So what do we do now? I'm sick and tired of the place, and I'm hungry.
Well, first of all, you let me think.
Shadow thinks.
Hey, do you think this world has chaos emeralds of its own? Maybe we don't... Okay.
Come on. Sound
Maybe we don't have
happier.
to find the one from our world went.
Sonic, you had
Maybe
too
we
many
don't have
beans.
to...
Sound happier.
Shitting his pants. Oh my god.
Maybe we don't have to find where the one from our world went. We can use one of theirs.
Maybe. All I can say for sure is that there has to be one or more emeralds, because otherwise there wouldn't be so much chaos energy in the atmosphere. But I can't tell whether that's just the one we came with, or if there are others.
We need more information, or I guess we can't ask the others outright whether they've seen a giant white gem. Or at least I can't. You could probably command them to answer you, or something.
Yes, though it would have to be subtle. I've a hunch Black Doom better not find out what we're looking for. After all, the last time that megalomaniac got his claws on them, we had a comet crash into the planet.
Yeah, still. Maybe I could talk to some cleaning slaves when no one's looking. Maybe they would share some info with me.
I'm not sure. Besides, who says I can let you run around loose?
Oh, come on! There's slaves running all around this place. Oh, come on! There's slaves running all over this place. Who's gonna notice one more? Besides, if I have to wear this collar, I better get some use out of it.
If you must, I'll see who I can talk to as well. Or maybe see if there are any records where the finding of a Chaos Emerald might be written down. But I suggest tomorrow because it's already late and I should feed you soon.
Feed me, Shads? Don't you mean you need to make sure I get my dinner?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Good.
Right, we should get going.
Sonic jumps off the rack and walks toward the door. Shadow gets off the rack and stops Sonic by grabbing his collar.
But first, 100 push-ups. But first...
What?
100 push-ups, now.
What?
We're coming from... We're coming from a torture chamber. I want to present you to them matted with sweat and trembling from exhaustion. I'll count them for you if you want.
Sonic stares incredulously for a moment, and Shadow smirks. Sonic shakes his head and gets down.
As soon as we're home, I'll have horrible revenge. You know that, right?
Consider it payback for the emerald you stole from me in the first place, faker. And don't talk back, or I'll have to use that gag.
Make that horrible, horrible revenge.
Sonic speedily starts doing push-ups, and Shadow watches. By the time he's done, he's straining significantly,
Now actually sound
panting
exhausted.
heavily, and looking sweaty.
100. 100 push-ups in just about 3 minutes. I'd like to see you top that quota with backflips, Shads.
Bro, that is not exhausted. That is not exhausted. Pant, man.
100. 100 push-ups in just about 3 minutes. I'd like to see you top that quota with backflips, Shads.
Shadow nods in satisfaction and approaches Sonic, attaching the leash.
Hey, what?
We need to go now before you get your breath back. Otherwise, you won't look very convincing.
Ugh.
Sonic tiredly stands and tries to keep up as Shadow walks to the door. Amboss is waiting outside as they exit.
Gone well, my prince?
Yes, I used the water treatments and the screws. They work splendidly.
Amboss nods like an IT expert talking to a spirited amateur computer hacker.
What? What does that
even
metaphor
mean?
I don't know.
Who do you think reads these?
Fucking horny teenage girls.
Honestly, yeah, no, IT experts, probably.
Horny teenage girls, obviously.
We're all teenage girls, after all.
Okay,
Which
sorry.
ones?
Teenage to, like, early 20s. Early 20s girls.
Dude, I would be very surprised.
And then the occasional gay man. Sorry, Black.
Alright, Chapter 11, Scene 11, Post-Pushup Walk. Interior, Castle Halls, moments later. Shadow leads Sonic back through the castle. Sonic looks slightly pained, is breathing heavily, and his ears are lowered. Shadow walks fast enough so Sonic sometimes struggles. Shadow walks fast enough, so Sonic sometimes stumbles to keep up. They occasionally pass other nobles, who look much more approving of Sonic than they did before.
I hope Jet's brought the food by now.
Jet? The hawk?
Shadow stops walking,
Well, he's
and
more of a
Sonic is
parrot in
stopped
this
by the
dimension.
leash. Sonic rubs his neck and turns to Shadow.
Yeah, he, is a servant here. Still a turtle jerk, though. Turtle?
Turtle joke, though.
Still a total jerk, though. But he seemed to be doing just fine under Black Doom's rule. Can we go now? I'm starving.
More whiny. Can we
Good, more
go
like,
now?
Can we go
I'm
now?
starving.
I'm starving.
Can we go now? I'm starving.
There you go.
Well, if you're that hungry...
Shadow takes something out of his quills and offers it to Sonic.
Ginger?
No!
Wow.
Shadow smirks slightly.
No.
Chapter 12.
For some reason, when I first read that, I thought he was calling Sonic a ginger.
No. Really, they didn't pull out a piece of ginger. They pulled out a ginger.
They pulled out a redhead.
Yeah. They pulled out you,
Sonic,
Ryan.
you wanna
They
eat the
pulled out
human?
you.
This is your friend,
Shove the
Knuckles.
human up your asshole, Sonic.
I keep him in my
Anyway.
quills.
Knuckles.
Jesus. All right.
For a rainy day.
Knuckles nosed away. All right. Chapter
is
12,
definitely the way.
Scene 12, Night 2. Interior, Prince's room, at sunset. Sonic eats dinner ravenously. Shadow is gazing out the window. Sonic finishes dinner, leans back, puts his feet up on the desk, and stretches.
Boy, what a day. And we haven't even been for a full 24 hours in this dimension.
Someone knocks on the door.
Yes?
It is I, Greytail, my prince. I have come to take back
Greytail?
your dishes. If you have finished your dinner, shall I enter?
Shadow and Sonic exchange an alarmed look.
It is rather inconvenient at the moment.
Is something wrong, my prince?
No. I'll open the door. Get somewhere inconspicuous. Get somewhere
Sonic
inconspicuous.
dashes away from the desk, and Shadow opens the door.
I hope you found your supper to your liking, my
Greytail pauses when he sees Sonic on the bed. Shadow looks at Sonic too and stares. Sonic has slipped his wrists into the shackles and looks quite flustered. Greytail averts his gaze to the floor, but Shadow stares a bit longer with a blush, and Sonic gives him a quick smug grin.
Oh, I see. I am terribly sorry for disturbing you, my prince. I appeal to your mercy not to have me executed for my foolishness. In the future I will only collect supper when you call for me, not when you are concerned with other activities.
Shadow turns back to Greytail, briefly wiping his nose.
I will let it pass this time, but I do not like being bothered. Try to keep your visits to a minimum.
Shadow lets Greytail in, and Greytail collects the dishes.
Yes, my prince. Has your slave not eaten all day?
No, I am currently denying him food to break him further. For the next week, I wish for you to only bring water for him. Do you understand?
Yes. Your father will be glad to hear you are applying the procedures so thoroughly. I will be leaving now. Only, Lazar has been asking whether he forgot to inform you that your regular weekly lessons will resume now that your sickness has passed. When he arrived this morning, he could not find you. He has been asking whether you would approve of rescheduling them for tomorrow morning.
Certainly. But I still do not feel well and require someone to carry my books. Come to my door 10 minutes before the lesson begins and collect them.
Yes, my prince.
Greytail leaves. Sonic slips out of the chains and lays on his belly, grinning mischievously at Shadow.
Guess I'm not the only one who finds more and more catches in his new role, huh? Make sure you bring Mr. Lazar?
Lazar.
Make sure you bring Mr. Lazar a polished apple and maybe you won't get any homework.
You're asking for a whipping.
Not right now. I'm too tired for exercise.
Shadow smiles slightly at Sonic's behavior. Then he looks at his
sleep?
desk and frowns.
Fuck. Can you sleep with the candle? Shut your bitch ass.
That's what frowns sound like.
Can you sleep? Can you sleep with the candle burning?
Yes, that was very convincing, babe.
Shut up! Shut up!
You are not good at portraying emotion.
Good.
That was a bit better.
I intend to study for tomorrow morning.
Oh wait, am I supposed to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Whatever. I think I'll go to sleep now.
Can't you at least pull off your shoes? They're not exactly clean.
Well, I would, but it's like, without my shoes, I can't run very fast. And considering I'm practically in enemy territory and every few hours some weirdo wants to lay into me with a whip, I'd rather keep them on.
I could protect you.
Sonic looks up at Shadow in surprise, and they stare for a few moments.
I appreciate the offer, Shads, but I think I can still protect myself. Unless, of course, someone inexplicably feels the urge to tie me to the frickin' bed before I wake up. That's not gonna happen, is it, Shadow?
No, it's not.
Shadow turns back to the desk and starts reading.
Now it's a reading desk
Hey,
instead of a
Shads.
writing desk. Ooh.
That's a question. You gotta say it as a question.
Hey, Shads.
That's not a question.
Hey, Shads.
Yes.
I just want to say, I really appreciate the offer, but you gotta understand that I'm not really used to anyone thinking they gotta protect me of all people. Usually, I protect them, you know? Tails and Amy and Cream, everyone. Nux can handle himself in battle, of course, but then again, he might watch my back from time to time. But he still isn't really, like, protecting me. More like offering me help when More like offering me help for when I've helped him in return.
For when I farted on his island.
And only when it doesn't jeopardize his precious hunk, a rock, of course. So, I guess what I just wanted to say, thanks for the offer. Even if I don't need it, it's nice of you. Yeah.
You've jeopardized my
Sonic
hunk!
lies back down in bed. Sonic lies back down in bed, facing away. Shadow stares at him with a light blush.
Ew. Sorry. But I'm getting all mushy here, which really isn't my style, either. Anyway, good night, Shadow.
Good night, Sonic.
Hang
Shadow
on, do
stares
that
at
last
nothing
Sonic
for a
line
while.
again. I'm getting
Yeah.
all mushy here, which isn't really my style either.
But I'm I have a cock in my mouth. Jeez, okay. But I'm getting all mushy here, which really isn't my style.
Dude, Shadow's bed is fucked.
Shadow's
Goddamn.
head is fine.
Those sheets are gonna be
There's shit everywhere.
There's shit on the wall!
Sonic, what did you do?
Shit on your walls. I had
Have you
Taco
ever taken a
Bell.
shit while doing a spin dash, Shadow?
I had Taco Bell. I had
Taco
Taco Bell,
Bell,
Shadow.
Yeah.
But I'm getting all mushy here, which really isn't my style either. Anyway, good night, Shadow.
Good night.
Well, you keep making either a different sentence. Why are you doing
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well,
Which really isn't my style either.
Yeah, my style either, yeah.
But I'm getting all mushy here, which really isn't my style either. Anyway, good night, Shadow.
Good night, Sonic.
Alright.
Shadow stares at nothing for a while, with a faint smile.
He smiles and looks at nothing for a while.
I think this should be our last chapter for
Smile
now.
as he looks at something for a while with a
Okay,
faint smile.
Sure. Chapter 13, Scene 13, Midnight Contemplations. Interior, Prince's room, at night. Shadow closes the book he was reading and gets up from the desk, going to the bed. He puts out the light and gets under the covers.
Later.
Friend. I was about to say Frenchie.
Shadow is awoken by a whimpering sound from Sonic. At first, Shadow can't tell where the noise came from, but Sonic makes a more frightened noise and a slight squirming movement. Sonic is facing away, so Shadow props himself up and leans over him to check if he's awake.
Fact.
Let's have some whimpering noises.
I almost said an F slur.
Oh!
Faker.
Fucker. Sonic slaps him in the face.
What was that?
Well, I heard a slap noise. You know? You gotta react to the slap. Alright. Sonic slaps him in the face. Shadow becomes angry for a moment until Sonic rolls onto his back, and Shadow sees he's still asleep. Sonic is squirming slightly, ears flat, and occasionally making small scared noises.
I've had my share of nights spent on Coldstone and Eggman's various dungeons, and those aren't the sort of memories I treasure.
Shadow's gaze softens.
I guess I'm not the only one whose memories aren't the best cushion to sleep on.
Ugh.
Alright.
Disgusted. Ugh.
Okay. Shadow gently puts a hand on Sonic's side, and Sonic freezes. Shadow starts rubbing Sonic, and then Sonic rolls towards Shadow, trying to cuddle against him. Shadow is very surprised for a moment, but he soon smiles as he continues petting Sonic. Shadow seems to realize what he's doing, and frowns.
I'm only doing this because his whimpering would keep me awake. The fact that I could simply kick him out of the bed instead is irrelevant. I hate logic.
Shadow has stopped his petting, and Sonic begins whimpering and squirming again. Shadow rolls his eyes and resumes petting. Sonic calms down.
I almost wish he'd act more like this when he was awake. Like, while he's awake. Fuck.
Okay, alright. Shadow scratches behind Sonic's ear, and Sonic purrs adorably, cuddling even closer to Shadow. What the
Make
fuck?
a purring sound.
Shadow smiles again. When he stops... Dude... Ew! The problem is if you make purring sound the same way a cat does, it's like way too deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, but... Shadow scratches behind Sonic's ear, and Sonic purrs adorably, cuddling even closer to Shadow. Shadow smiles again. When he stops petting Sonic, Sonic seems to be sleeping soundly again. Shadow shakes his head with a small smile.
What am I getting myself into?
A blue hedgehog's asshole, that's what.
A blue hedgehog, what?
Jesse, you said
Blue
chapter
hedgehog.
13 was the last one?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop.
Jesse,
for
you
one
said
night.
chapter 13 was going to be the last one? Alright.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.